Hey, what's going on, everyone? Caught me slacking over here. I'm procrastinating cleaning up the shop after some of this new fresh content that we got brewing up at Weld.com for not only the YouTube channel, but our Weld app as well. If you haven't checked out the Weld app, check it out now because we're starting a new series on the YouTube channel of me going inside the Weld app and asking questions here on the YouTube channel. So if you have any welding related questions, even if I don't get around to them, we've got tons of people in the community that'll answer those questions for you. But we've got a question right here by Bubba J. Hey everybody, I was wondering what everybody would be recommend for a starting welding rig. I'm currently in trade school and I'm looking to go straight to the field after. What engine drives, trucks, and other necessities do you guys recommend? So let's get into that. We're going to get into all different types of welding machines, from the ones that you need some serious equipment to haul around to the ones you could kick over with your foot. So let's get into that. So as far as the big guys are concerned, there's two big guys that you got to consider, and that's red or blue. So let's first get into Big Blue, and let's get into the Vantage. So both of these machines have obvious badass capabilities. They're massive pieces of equipment, but is it for you? These are for the guys and gals running the right of way, day in, day out, big pipe, in-service welds. I mean, they're burning rods. I mean, big rods constantly. They do it for a living, and even these Big Blue, the 800, you can run 2 welders off of it. Now, these machines are super duper expensive, right? They're going to go way up there, especially if you're buying them brand new. Not only that, but you're looking into having a 1-ton truck, as well as probably a custom bed, depending on the size that you're getting. But with the Vantage and the Big Blue, the 400s, big machines. These things are heavy duty pieces of equipment. So as far as a recommendation, I would say once you've developed a career and you're not just trying to break out, these machines are a good machine to stick with as far as like just keeping and maintaining your career as a pipe welder or whatever type of production that you're doing, but you're running and gunning with these big machines. They come in sizes anywhere from 400, 600, 800. They're huge machines, and they're powerhouses. You can run 2 welders off of them, grinders, lights, a bunch of stuff. So if that's for you, then maybe check those out. Now let's go ahead and take a step down a class, all right? Those machines are really huge and they're powerhouses, right? They're really gonna do some work. So the next machines, they're nothing to sneeze at either. We've got 400 amp machines down to about 325 amp machines. Now these machines comes in the forms of the Miller Pipe Pro or the Trailblazer 325, and now we can even have 302, the air. So even with the big boys, those have air packs on them too. So that's a compressor on board these machines. That's pretty intense. If you need air on a machine, it's pretty critical not having to have that whole other piece of equipment. Now Lincoln's got, of course, the SA300, the Vantage 322, and then the Vantage 400 in that 400 class. Now the old faithful that everyone's tried and true is the old SA200s. Now they don't make those anymore. However, you can find them a dime a dozen anywhere, and depending on what condition they're in, it might be just the thing for you. The SA200 is probably the most sought after machine in my opinion. In my opinion, don't chase me on that, but as far as breaking out, you can find them for very affordable if you're willing to work on it. Engine drives are a lot like a car as far as looking into the do's and don'ts of buying used ones. But the SA200, you're only going to find a used one now, so there's some stuff you got to look out for, and we'll get into that in a bit. But these machines are perfect for breaking out if you're trying to really still go to work. They're just a little bit more affordable as far as, you know, price-wise. They're not cheap by any sense of the imagination, especially buying them brand new. So if that's what your option is, you got the budget for it, or you know you've got jobs lined up. I see a lot of guys, they start off, you know, they want to break out, so they buy themselves a dually and then they get themselves a SA300 brand new. They spend so much money and then they run out of work or didn't even have a job to line up. They just were in a bunch of hopes. So make your decision based off of what you got going on. I would stick to the used route. Now these machines, you don't need a 1-ton truck either. You can get by with a 3/4 ton truck and still make it no problem. You may not even need to build a bed for it. So now we're really taking down a lot of the cost when it comes to either a Trailblazer, a 400 being the max, and of course our SA200s or 300s and even the 400 all of those, even with air on them. They get a little bit heavier, so you got to think about those things. Now let's go down even more. Now this next line of generators, it's more my speed. I'm not the type of guy that's going to go out on the right of way and burn a bunch of 5P rods and, you know, big, thick diameter, long boys. That's not for me. Maybe I got soft hands, I don't know. But this next lineup is perfect for those that have plenty of jobs around town, plenty of ironworking stuff, plenty of just business. People need stuff rebuilt, bollards, handrails, tables. I mean, whatever it may be, maybe just some mobile repair. This is the engine class for you. Now this is the 200 to 330 or so. We still even can get up almost to 400 amps and still be able to put it in the back of, say, even a 1500. So this is my favorite class. You have a little bit more competition down here. Hobart's in it with the Champion 225, and of course Miller's got their Bobcat to the 200, 225, 260 air, and then your Ranger 225, 250, 260, and the MPX line. Those are really sweet. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with that 330 MPX. It's really small and it has so many really cool bells and whistles. So that's why I think this is probably more my style, because it's a perfect piece of machinery that you could put in the back of a smaller truck, a more affordable truck, or probably just a truck that you have, any truck. You could put, you might not be able to get away with putting it in the back of a Tacoma, but it's still a really portable engine drive machine, and they're really powerful, especially those 330 MPX. And they come with air. Some of them still have air. So now that we know more about this generator lineup, before we go into what to do about buying used equipment, let's jump down into the even smaller little boys as far as welder generators that you can still get the job done with. Now this next class of machines, it's got the most competition. This is going to be your 100 series or 100 amp machines all the way up to about 185, almost 200 amps. Now these look like your camping generators almost. That's essentially what they are, but they just produce the right kind of power and input that these welding machines need in order to burn metal, melt metal together. So, a lot of companies got a lot of these welding machines, so I would do your due diligence to see which ones are great for you. As far as Miller, Lincoln's, they got them. ESOB's in the game with the new Ruffian. Hobart's got them. Your general Home Depot or big box chain supply stores, they got them. So you can check a lot of those options out. Now again, you can actually run an inverter off of just a plain generator, but you have to take a lot of steps into that. And as far as all the technology that you need, and as far as the safety, I would look all that up. I'm not the expert on that. Running a generator or inverter off a generator, do know you need at least about 7 to 10 kVAs as far as the size machine you're using for the generator you're using. So if you're running like a 200 amp inverter, you're gonna need about 10 kVAs. What kVA stands for, I actually don't know. I just Googled that. But that's what they said, so if you know, you go over to Google, give her or Yonder, or go ask it inside the Weld app. Should have done that, probably would have got a good answer. Yeah, that class of generators, those are perfect for your average Joe or gal who's just running around town doing quick little repairs on just, usually some residential type stuff. Not to mention you can use these generators as powering your house. If the old lady needs a shower while the power's out, or maybe you want to go camping with the fam, you can use these welders and these generators to be a generator. So there's a lot of really good options. It really comes down to what are you going to use it for? And if you don't have a plan for it yet, then don't get it. It's as simple as that. The other thing that my good friend Warrior Welding Texas said, or Matt Arnold is his name, is don't try to look cool. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't need to have the slickest rig or the most debt in order to do the job. Get something that's going to make you money, especially if you're just breaking out. That's what should be your focus, is trying to spend minimal cost on a setup that's going to be effective and still do the job right, but you're not breaking the bank just so you can look cool for your friends. I've known a few guys that have put themselves into a bind, and either the work stopped or they found out that the lifestyle wasn't for them, and now they have all this equipment and all this debt, and it's not as easy to just sell something with so much that costs so much. So that's some things to think about. Don't try to look cool. And another couple facts that my good friend Matt told me is, man, if it's got a United Rental sticker on the side, or maybe it's got a serial number that's been stamped into the side of the machine, that machine's probably seen some shit. Okay, you want to probably just stay clear of those. Those have probably been used and abused on job sites. So that's something to just to plain steer away from. Now, like I said, you can get these things used, and a lot of people are sought after the SA200. Now, my good friend Texas Pipeliner 35, Hunter Wilson, says the SA200 is perfect. He has a bunch of them, and you can get them for cheap to completely rebuilt, the whole 9 yards, and they're still a really affordable powerhouse of a machine to take on your journey through your career. So those machines, they are older, so as far as the hours on a machine is something that you should be concerned about. As far as the gas generator, my good friend Justin said about 1,500 hours on a gas and 5,000 hours on a diesel. Now again, this really comes to what kind of generator you're trying to buy and the condition that it's in. It was really kind of subjective. Same thing with those SA200s. You're going to be kind of scared of the hours that are on them because they've been used a lot. Knowing how many owners, again, it's just like buying a used car. So if it's leaking, SA200s, they're pretty notorious for it, but a lot of these other generators, not so much. Miller's really proud of the fact that theirs doesn't leak, at least so they say. I'm sure there's someone who's damaged it enough where it's gonna leak. It's a matter of taking care of the equipment. So an SA200, as far as going there, you're gonna wanna go show up, turn it on, try it out. That's what Hunter does with all of his buys. He doesn't need to see the hours. He wants to go try it out, listen to it. How does it start? How does it run? Does it have any new parts? What looks bad on the machine? If you don't know these things, bring someone with you. If I had to go buy an SA200 that I wanted, I'm gonna grab my buddy Hunter and I'm gonna say, come here, let's go buy this machine together. So those are the things you need to be looking out for. I hope this video has helped you a little bit. If you have any more questions, guys, go ask them inside the Weld app, and I'm gonna ask them here on the YouTube channel, or answer them here on the YouTube channel. And if I don't get to them, someone is, because we've got a great community of welders inside that Weld app ready to answer those questions for you. And there's plenty of ton of content in there as far as videos, a marketplace, job boards, all kinds of stuff inside the Weld app. So go check it out. Doctor's orders. Let me hear what you got.